And for those that are suffering with cost of living increases and saying they're living paycheck to paycheck?
Well, I'd be very upset with Biden because we don't have any of those problems.
What the fuck you say?
Well, I'd be very upset with Biden because we don't have any of those problems. We don't have inflation. You know, essentially, we don't have inflation. I inherited the worst inflation in history of our country. We don't have inflation. We're down to 2%, even less than 2%. A couple of items like beef, I'm getting down. But our groceries are down.
Healthcare premiums?
I can fix healthcare.
Being a Trump supporter is one thing, but trying to gaslight me into believing that gas was higher under Biden than it is under Trump is like delusional as fuck. I just put $74 in a Chevy Malibu. I've had this car since Biden was president. I've never put $74. Like, how are you trying to gas? I've never put $74 in my gas tank, and I always let the shit go to E.
Do you remember just a few years ago when we had to listen to all the Republican chatterboxes and all the stickers on the pump going, oh, look what Biden did. Look what Biden had nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing. It had to do with Russia and Ukraine going to war. That was the majority of it. And gas prices soared because of a war. But this time, the person that started the war was literally the president. Yes, Republican Donald Trump. And then look at our gas prices. Yes, he did that. Trump literally did that because he started a war. But now on TikTok and Facebook and all these platforms, you don't hear Republicans saying anything, do you? You hear them crying at the pump, but you don't hear them on here saying a word. Wow. Isn't that amazing? They couldn't wait to chirp about Biden, but now that gas prices suck under Trump, they're not saying a word, are they? Pathetic.
Hey, MAGA, remember these little stickers you used to put up with Joe Biden's face on them, blaming him for all the gas prices? Well, he had nothing to do with it back then. Presidents don't normally have anything to do with gas prices unless you start a war. Unless you start a war in the Middle East where all the oil is at, right? So now it's your turn, right? We're going to throw these up. We're going to put these everywhere on every gas pump. We're going to have these everywhere just to show you who really did this, who's responsible for your crazy gas prices now. Oh yeah, by the way, didn't you vote for a guy that said no new wars, right? He has lied to you every chance he could, and you guys just keep eating it up. So yeah, this is what he did. It's his fault for these gas prices.
Instead of coming up with solutions, Trump is blaming Joe Biden for higher gas prices. And he promised lower prices on day one. And people remember all those promises that the economy would become stronger and life would become more affordable. So people are more frustrated because life is becoming more harder than ever. So let's get into it. Please like, comment, and hype the video, right? Let's get into it.
I've been busy in Washington, D.C. today, going around to the gas stations and talking to people filling up their tanks. And boy, they are mad at hell. I mean, look at the prices. $5.39 for regular, $6 for premium. Well, $5.999. And that's why I've been busy putting these stickers on here. These stickers that say, I did that. Let's give Trump credit for what he did, which is make these gas prices unaffordable for working Americans. Now, I'm lucky. I got a bicycle. I can get around on my bike, but most people can't do that. They need their cars. There's lots of cars here in D.C. and all over this country, and people are whopping mad. But you know what? They have to connect it to the illegal, unprovoked war in Iran that Trump got us into. And we got to be putting the blame on him. And we have to be telling members of Congress that they have a chance to say no to this war by voting for the War Powers Resolution that's going to come up this week that says Trump does not have the right to take us into this war. So please make sure that people understand when they're filling up their gas tanks, this is because of Trump's war in Iran, and it's got to stop now.
And this is peanuts, and I appreciate everybody putting up with it for a little while. It won't be much longer, but you're going to have, and frankly, there is so much oil out there. One of the things that is happening is these big ships are coming up to Texas, Louisiana, and Alaska, and they're loading up. But I don't even think about that. What I think about is you can't let Iran have a nuclear weapon, and they won't have a nuclear weapon, and they fully understand it.
So I'm standing here in California at a Chevron right now, and premium gas is $7.49, diesel is $8.99. I mean, this is insane. And before people say this is normal, it's not. The average gas price across California right now is already pushed around $5.70 to nearly $6 a gallon, which is almost $2 higher than the national average. And in some places, like here, it's way higher. I mean, we're talking $7, $8, even close to $9 at certain stations. So what's going on? Well, part of it is global, the tensions in places like Iran pushing oil prices up, with trickles down to gas prices. But California also has its own issues. Higher gas taxes, stricter environmental regulations, and limited refinery capacity all drives up prices up even more, like we're seeing here. So yeah, this isn't just bad luck. It's a combination of global events and state level factors hitting all at once. And the crazy part is, experts are even warning prices could go even higher if things keep going this direction.
Here's the thing, Trumpers. This economy is out of control right now with Donald Trump. This truck, if I'd have bought this truck a few years ago, it would have probably been $10,000, maybe $13,000, $14,000 cheaper or more. But Trumpers, you voted for this. This is what's costing us. They filled this up when I bought it, and I saw what it cost, $120 to fill this thing up at $4.05 a gallon. If you think by voting for Donald Trump that you've done something, you've done something all right. You've hurt us Americans. It's what you've done, and I hope you're happy for it. I hope when you go buy a truck or gas, I hope you fill it up just like I did, okay? So Trumpers, come and get me on this one, because this is a Trump economy, so I don't want to hear no more about your sleepy Joe Biden, because this is a terrible situation we're in with Trump.
60% of Americans will lose everything they got in the second quarter of 2026 under this administration. You guys see how many people lost their homes and got their cars repossessed? And look at the tariffs on China. We're still going back and forth with China, man, on tariffs, 145% tariffs. The gas prices is through the roof. The food prices, man, I don't even want to talk about. People are riding around on empty, man. So in the second quarter of 2026, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, man. Y'all see what happened last month? 17,000 Spirit workers lost their jobs. There was something happened at, I can't remember the name of the place, where 30-something thousand people got notices before they even went to work. They got fired through email, man. I can't remember the name of the company, but it happened like 2 months ago. Repossessions, man, is up to 15,000 repossessions a day in the United States. And in most cases, people can't even hide their cars. Even if you hide them at a friend's house or in the garage, they got all those devices on where they can track the vehicle, no matter what state you in, where you put it at, man. And that's why I believe 60% of Americans is going to lose everything they got, man. I see houses all around me going up for sale. I see all kind of cars being repoed from grocery store parking lots and stuff, man. It's getting bad out here, man. Save your money, man. Save your money. It's getting bad out here. This guy that's running our country don't give two fucks about you, man. He don't give two fucks about me. He's already a billionaire. He made it very clear that he do not care about your financial situation, man. Thanks for watching.
Economists right now are predicting 6% inflation for the second quarter in the USA in 2026. 6%. It was just at 3.8%. If the war in Iran does not stop very soon in the near future, they're predicting 10% inflation. Do you know that most of the spending, most of the GDP, the gross domestic product, is in AI data centers that bring you zero to your financial situation? It costs us money. They get tax breaks and your energy prices go up. Ready for inflation to double in the next month or so? Are you ready for it to go to 10% inflation in the third quarter of 2026? We are in for an economic collapse in the USA. Are we in a recession? I would argue We are not only in a recession, we are heading to a depression, something that we haven't experienced in most of our lifetimes. Buckle up and get your finances in order. This money that's being spent as well is going to come from increases to taxpayers. It has to. We don't tax corporations anymore since 2017, when Donald Trump reduced the corporate tax rates. We are in very big trouble, my friends.
Trump keeps saying the economy is doing great, but many Americans are asking, if the economy is doing great, why are so many people suffering like this? You can't tell people the economy is doing great when they are paying more money than they ever did before. When truck drivers are struggling to fill up their tanks, when parents cannot afford groceries, and when people are paying more for rent and electricity. People are not imagining pain. They are living it in real time. And this is why so many Americans are so frustrated when they hear politicians say the economy is doing great instead of offering solutions. All they are doing is political blame games. And honestly, people want action. They want honesty. They want leadership that acknowledges their pain, And even right now, many people are not thinking about right or left. They are thinking about survival. They are thinking about how to stretch a paycheck and whether they can afford gas to get to work next week. And people feel leaders are disconnected from their daily life, and people are losing trust in leadership. And once people feel like promises have been broken and their struggles are being ignored, anger grows into resentment. And most people, they simply want honesty, They want accountability and real solutions, not blame games and not political arguments. Because political arguments will not pay people's bills. Excuses will not lower gas prices. And finger pointing will not help struggling people, And when you listen to most people on social media, people are exhausted and reaching a breaking point because life is becoming more expensive and more stressful and more uncertain. And let's hope our leaders will do something to ease the cost of living. So thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.